Hey, you guys, happy Monday or happy Easter Monday. All right, so check this out. Once a week, no designated day, I do a walk around my house. You see that plant right there? Yes, that one we just walked by. Clearly, it needs to be pulled. It's dead. I walk around, I check my gutters, but mainly I check my foundation. Like right there, you see a crack. I check, make sure that my gutters, one that I just walked by, is nice and clear. I check all of the perimeter of my home. Make sure there's no leak right there, even though it's just drainage. Make sure there's no overflow of water or anything like that. I check my windows. That's most important. The corner of my windows that are censored with my alarm, I check, make sure that they're locked. But I check the base of the house all the way around just to make sure that there's not anything that stands out. I've been a homeowner for years, and this has saved me a lot of money when you do this and you catch it early. I check every detail from the sprinkler system, make sure that there's one that's just not even leaking, or if there's no flooding or whatnot. Okay, here goes this plant right here that it needs to be pulled. Right there. It clearly needs to come out. All the rest of them look, fabulous. Nice and edged. But that one, apparently it didn't make it through the freeze. On another note, I look my doorbell. You see how that's flashing? That's a sign right there. There's something I need to go check. Something probably very minor. I always check my locks. Make sure that there's not anything loose from the inside or the outside. And then I take it all the way around to the other side of the house. But before I go into the other side of the house, I go into the garage, and this is something else that I also check on. It's very important to me because it's an investment, just like your home. Your home is an investment, is my water softener. You see that? That blue light. It clearly means you're out of salt. Time to go to Costco, time to go to Sam's, time to go to the grocery store, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever you get your salt from. It wasn't like that last week, and I just happened to look at it, and I thought, well, I do check that quite often. I only fill up maybe once, if twice a year. Anyhow, I don't use my sprinkler system as much anymore since I had my pool installed and the construction done. It kind of messed up some of the irrigation, and it broke a few of them. So it's just not, it's not worthy of it. But here we go. Here's the other side of the house that I check. This is unnecessary. So it just needs to be put back in place. But once again, I start on the other side of the house and I check the meter. I pay very close attention. Sorry about my nail right up there. I didn't even realize that it was recording my nail. But I check the meter reading. Why? Because sometimes the electric or gas company, they do make mistakes as well. But I do check the meter reading. I checked the panel. I had an additional panel installed on the outside of my home for my pool. So I make sure that all of that looks like it's supposed to be looking. Everything looks right. That's your main on that side. And then I had an additional panel. Mind you, before I go to the other panel, I just planted some cannas right in here. So y'all, let's be patient and see if they grow. But I turned the dirt, and that right there is my AC. I checked that as well. make sure that it's working properly. Right here is my pool equipment, another big investment. Around this area, I checked the grass. It's starting to grow nicely. Last year, it did not look like that. But what I do around my pool equipment is I make sure, one, that panel on the left-hand side corner looks like it's supposed to be looking. Mind you, we do have a tech that will come out here if I need him to, but I think I've got it down enough to where we are able to recognize if there is something, that's not working properly. But I pay really close attention right up here into all of this equipment. Sorry about that nail again. The sun was sunning, or it is sunning. It's early this morning. And I get the blower and I literally blow all those leaves out the back. You see that? I blow all those leaves out the back. I like a nice clean look right there two reasons. One, because, I like it to look nice and clean, but two, you're able to identify more if there's a leak or something is just not, you'll be able to tell if something is just not working properly right there. Those pumps are very expensive, and that is a very big investment that I made with my pool. So I like to make sure that those are maintained properly and everything looks like it's supposed to look. Mind you, if you catch something that doesn't look, and you'll be able to identify, if you do this often, trust and believe you will save yourself so much money if you tackle it early on versus later. Inside right here are the filters. They need to be cleaned. I keep these gates locked, so I've got to take it to the inside of the house. But I did come back and just roll it up. That's it. Right here in the back, this goes to the pool. If there's any leak there, any latch, look, I checked the latches. That trash can you saw there, it has to be cleaned out. Right here, I checked the perimeter. You see, bam, a hole right there. Easy access for the pups to get out. I've got to get that fixed. Other than that, you guys, that's what I do on a weekly. It saves me a whole lot of money. I do that with the interior. I do that with my automobiles, my John Deere, but also with, things on the inside of my house. If you see a leak or whatnot, but that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. This is what I do on a weekly. And like I said, it saves me a ton of money when you tackle it on and you see that there's something wrong, fix it.